DEXE climbed 44.3% in the 7 days after our screen flagged it on July 7th. Biggest move of any call this week, full stop. Every Sunday, we take the calls our screen made a week ago and grade them in public, all of them, no cherry picking, best to worst. 50 calls this week. We're starting with DEXE, because it's the one that stands out. 50 calls from our screen hit their 7-day grade this week. 16 of them moved at least 15%, which is the bar the screen uses to call a move material. Best to worst, here's the list. DEXE leads, up 44.3% in the 7 days after being flagged on July 7th. Trading activity had spiked to 3.4 times its normal 7-day level, which is why the screen caught it. Up 33.0%, Edge was next, flagged the same day after it had already jumped 25.5% in a single day. Velvet gained 31.7% after a July 8th flag, and this one's an odd case. It had dropped 18.1% in a day and 75% over the prior week when the screen flagged it, then turned around and bounced. BC rose 24.1% following a July 12th flag, on trading volume running 4.2 times normal. Rounding out the top 5, LDO moved up 15.7% after being flagged July 9th for heavy trading relative to its size, with volume running nearly 4 times normal. That's the winning side. Now the other end of the ledger, where the same kind of flag pointed the wrong way. Beat dropped 16.7% after a July 11th flag tied to a 28.5% single-day jump. TIBBIR fell 25.3% from its July 11th flag, despite having already jumped 22.4% in a day, climbed 36.7% over the week, and moved up 36 spots in the size rankings. A 15.9% single-day jump got UB flagged on July 6th, and it went on to drop 34.7%. Ansem lost 36.3% after a July 7th flag that came on the back of a 216.6% run the week before, an extreme number. And the worst call of the week goes to NEX, down 38.9% in the 7 days after a July 9th flag that followed a 58.8% jump the week before that. DEXE on top, NEX on the bottom. Across all 50 calls, this week's cohort landed a 42% call accuracy. We'll explain what that number actually means, and a better one to watch, in a minute. Let's slow down on DEXE, since it's the standout of the week. The screen flagged it on July 7th because trading activity had spiked to 3.4 times its normal 7-day level. That's a clear sign something unusual was going on. Watch the chart from that flag date. Over the next 7 days it climbed, closing the window up 44.3% from where it stood the moment it got flagged. This is exactly the pattern the screen looks for, unusual activity showing up before a big move, not after one. To be clear, we're not saying the volume spike caused the move, and we're not saying it repeats next time. We're just showing you what the number looked like at the flag and what the chart did in the 7 days after. DEXE, up 44.3% in a week, is the biggest move graded this week. Now flip to the other side. NEX is this week's counterweight to DEXE. It dropped 38.9% in the 7 days after being flagged on July 9th. The screen caught it because it had already climbed 58.8% over the previous week, a run that had already happened by the time the flag fired. Watch the chart head the other way this time, closing the 7-day window well below where it started. Same screen, same 7-day window as DEXE, opposite result. That's why we show both. A flag means the screen spotted unusual activity. It says nothing about which direction the coin moves next. NEX down 38.9%, DEXE up 44.3%, both flagged for a real reason. Only one of them landed where you'd guess. Now zoom out, because this is the number that actually matters, the screen's rolling 30-day accuracy. Across 180 graded flags over the last month, its call was right 50% of the time. Here's what that means exactly. A call counts as right when a flagged coin goes on to move at least 15% in either direction, or when a coin the screen skips stays quiet under 15% over the next week. Both of those count as correct. It has nothing to do with how many flagged coins went up. It's not a batting average on gains, and it doesn't predict direction. It measures whether the screen's read, that something unusual was happening, matched what actually happened next, whichever way that move went. Over the last 30 days, it matched about half the time. So what's the screen watching right now? 6 coins this week: B, XEC, DCR, CashCat, Velvet, and DRV. These are fresh flags from the last few days. None of them have a 7-day grade yet. We'll grade all 6 next Sunday the same way we graded this week's 50. Publicly, best to worst, no exceptions, however they turn out. For context, the wider market's mood sits at 28 out of 100 on the fear and greed scale, solidly in fear territory. That's the backdrop these 6 showed up against. We're not telling you what happens to them next, nobody knows that yet, including the screen. We're only telling you these are the coins that flagged as unusual this week. A quick word on what that accuracy number does and doesn't mean. 50% across 180 flags tells you the screen's read on, unusual, match the next 7 days about half the time. It doesn't mean the screen predicts direction. It doesn't mean a flagged coin is more likely to go up than down. DEXE and NEX prove that this week alone, one up 44.3%, one down 38.9%, both correctly flagged as unusual before either move happened. The screen looks for activity that stands out from normal. Trading volume, sudden price jumps, how much is changing hands compared to a coin size. It doesn't know what happens next, and neither do we. This is an observation, not advice. We're showing you what the numbers did after each flag, not telling you what to do about it, and we're not saying whether any of these coins are good or bad. That's 50 calls, graded in public, every single one, win or lose. Want to watch the daily screen as it happens? The coins it flags for unusual activity before anyone knows how they turn out? Subscribe. We post new flags daily, and we're back every Sunday with the full 7-day grade on everything the screen called the week before. 6 calls are already queued for next week: B, XEC, DCR, CashCat, Velvet, and DRV. That is the first print.